Dude, seeing Sony Boy resurface again is one of the greatest things to ever happen in 2026. Anyways, though, I have been remembering a lot of these animes that I've been into for a certain period of time because it was just so wholesome. It's one of those slice of life, wholesome animes that, cures the heart. And unfortunately, there are just some specific ones that make you think, what the actual hell am I watching? Now, it doesn't have to do with the anime alone. In fact, the anime is what actually pretty wholesome, and there's nothing wrong with it. It typically follows the same formula. There's a main character who is an adult male, maybe around its 30s or 40s, and somehow, some way, he comes across a little girl, like maybe an elementary schooler, and ends up raising her through certain circumstances. And throughout the entire 12 episodes, it's just a lot of heartwarming things. You get the backstory of the little girl, which is typically sad. You get the backstory of the main character, which is all right. You see why he turned out the way he did. Now, not all the times is it bad, but most of the time it's just kind of meh, right? He's just a loner for the most part because he just doesn't see himself dating anybody or doesn't want to. And that's how it goes for most of them. But it gets weird once you, I guess, dive deep into their light novel or their manga. And my gosh, man, these things just deserve to be in the Epstein files. Now, I've seen some people defend some of the reasons as to why, and they should also be behind bars. Oh my gosh, because this is the literal definition of grooming. What typically happens is that after the anime ends and you dig deep into the story, it follows this pattern. They get older, they start developing feelings, and they knock it off and get married. And in some cases, start a family. Yeah, no, it's absolutely disgusting, disturbing, and just flat out like what the actual but let me just give you an example. Let me give you a few examples actually. You got Usagi Drop. Exactly what I've just explained to you before. There's a main character. He's an old guy. I think he's actually like 30 or 40. And I think the introduction, their little girl, which I forget her name, she's like 6 years old. And once she becomes, I think, of legal age, I think she actually became 18 or 19, where she actually works up the courage to ask out her father. They eventually say yes and get married towards the end. I am so sorry for the spoiler, but let me tell you right now that I'm saving you the trouble of a dumpster fire of a series. Because why the hell does this happen? Who decides, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go ahead and write this off. Why did the editor think that this would be a great idea? I mean, I'm pretty sure they were thrown a curveball midway or towards the end of the, I guess, publishing of this story, having to talk one-on-one with the actual author. It's just so disgusting. It's so crazy to me how and why they think this would be a romantic idea to begin with. It is just straight up disturbing. Another one has to do with, even if it's for my daughter, I will defeat the demon lord. Now, this one I was extremely pissed off at because it was more wholesome than Usagi Drop. I like the characters and I liked every interaction with every single person, but it followed the same thing with Usagi Drop. She got old enough to want to work up the courage to ask out her father, and the father has some complications, and he was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should, I don't know, should I? Eventually they do, and they get married. And actually, this is the one that the worst case scenario happens. They raise a family together. They actually have kids, and if I am not wrong, towards the very end of the light novel, yeah, no, there's a scene where the kids call out to their parents, and their parents are obviously them. Oh, man, like, this is like textbook definition of grooming. Now, it probably has like a filter on it where it makes it look all nice and happy, but literally this is exactly what's happening. She develops, or the kids develop, feelings for their father figures. Now, they're not actual fathers, but they're father figures. It's still the same freaking thing. They raised them. They raise them, bro. It's so crazy, man. Like, literal kids, literally elementary schoolers. What happens in elementary schools? You go to school, you go to elementary school, you pee the bed, you do whatever. The parents help you out. That's exactly what happened. Like, it just so freaking disgusting, man. How the hell does this even get greenlit? How the hell does this even get, brought up into their attention? These guys deserve to be locked behind bars or just never make another series ever again. No, yeah, definitely did not deserve, I guess, another serialization for another story that they have to write, because there seems to be a pattern with these things. Now, these two mangakas or authors are not the same ones. They're entirely different, but either way, they don't deserve to write any more stories. Now, I'm really hoping that some other series just don't follow this. One of them is Somali and the Forest Spirits. Now, I really don't see this following that at all, because one, it is a little girl, but two, this is a golem. They don't have reproductive organs. He's literally a walking statue. And this one is more wholesome, and actually the plot is entirely different from the other ones that I did mention earlier, because she is the only human in a monstrous world. Every interaction that she makes is with a monster. And one of the mythological ones that you see, like there's Fenrir's and I guess one of those bird human looking hybrid thingies. I forgot what they're called, but there are many more, and just other monsters regardless. And it's a good watch, it's a good story, but again, I don't see this happening where Somali just develops feelings for the golem that just really doesn't have feelings. The only thing he's capable of is, I guess, feelings for taking care of something that's inferior to him. But the other one, and this one is, I'm really hoping that just, again, doesn't follow it, because I actually love this one. I really do like the interactions, and that is the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. I like the interactions with all of these characters too much, only to find out that it's going to follow the exact same route as the other two that are mentioned in the Epstein files. Not literally mentioned in the Epstein files, but they should be, because that is just straight up wild. And I really don't want to see this one suffer through it. I got like so, I guess, attached to the guy, the older dude, because he's a terrible dude, but he's slowly and developing, becoming a better person despite being a Yakuza. And same with the other ones. These, I don't know what it is. I like Yakuza stories because of course, on the outside, they look absolutely terrible. And, you know, they still are, because they are still killing people. But they actually care for each other and are more of like, I guess, in a family than in a gang or whatever, and that's how they treat it. And I really would like, or I really would dislike for this route to happen. Now, I don't think it can happen or it will happen, because the main character is actually like the second or the right-hand man of the actual child, like the father of the child. So I don't see that happening, and I don't see why this guy would let it slide just like the other two. So again, it's so crazy to me how these even happen. My gosh. I really don't understand, man. And it's so unfortunate, because I did like these types of genres. I like kicking my feet up in the air when, you know, the little girl smiles because she finally has a father figure. They have a family somewhat. It just warms my heart. I really do like those tropes. I like wholesome slice of life animes, even if there's like a little bit of, you know, romance sprinkled in there, not between the father and child, but maybe the father and somebody else, and they develop and make a family. I don't know. It's just so unfortunate to see it go from, like, I guess, hitting its all-time high and then just absolutely hit rock bottom, getting spoiled with the ending. Now, I am so happy that I really did get spoiled with all of these two endings, because it is just straight up disgusting, and I would have wasted my time and been so pissed, you know, figuring that out myself. If y'all know the ending of the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting and it ends the exact same way, let me know down in the comments, because I am not going to try and waste my time looking for the manga, reading it, and just be disappointed. But anyways, if you made it this far, why not drop a like and subscribe, as that does help around on my channel a lot. Anyways, though, y'all have a wonderful mother flipping day, and I'll see y'all next time. Adios, guys.